Did you have a staple routine that you maybe followed throughout your competitive years, where you were competing at the level that you did, that you not only enjoyed, but that you found worked very well for you? And if you did, what did that look like in more detail? So we're talking like maybe you want to outline the split, maybe you want to outline the volume, the intensity, the frequency that you found yourself doing majority of the time. And I know it was probably in phases, but maybe you could give a sample.
So yeah, like you said, it was definitely in phases, different periods in my training life. I was doing different things and different things within shorter periods of time as well. And I'd kind of like cycle through them. So there's certain things that I enjoyed more than others that I found beneficial at those times. But if I was to try and return to them now, I wouldn't be able to do them. I'd have quite an elaborate split. So at one point, like my weakness was my back. I came to a point with deadlifting and things like that where I was just getting loads and loads of SI joint issues. Every time I would deadlift, I'd then go to work and I'd turn like this because I couldn't rotate. It was doing me no good. So the risk versus benefit for things like deadlifts was skewed for me at that time. And not being knowledgeable enough to know how to deal with it, I just need to bin off deadlifts. But I'm going to make up for that by training back twice a week. So I thought, well, I'll try and split it into two workouts, so two groups, so more like pull down movements on one occasion and more off the floor stuff on another occasion. And if I am going to deadlift right at the end. I looked at my strong points. My strong point was my chest, so I thought, well, I'm going to train chest and then abbreviate it, and then train all my pull down movements afterwards, and then tag biceps on the end, finish those off. And then I would do quads and calves together on a separate workout. That would be fairly abbreviated, but because it was such a big muscle group and it would fatigue me quite a lot, I could abbreviate that workout quite a bit because it's only two body parts, one big, one small. And then the following workout would be shoulders and triceps. And then the following workout would be back and hamstrings. But this would be all the other parts of my back work. So I'd kind of tie in the off the floor stuff with the hamstring stuff. So obviously if you're deadlifting or doing any kind of hip hinges, really, really heavy on the hamstrings, it's also really, really heavy on your back. So I do a lot more of the rows and that kind of thing. So anything sort of shoulder, when I was pulling from shoulder height downwards would be on that day, and anything sort of above on the other day when I was paired with chest. And I really, really enjoyed that. That seemed to help me quite a lot. It helped my hamstrings. It certainly helped my back. And at that time, I was training a lot more higher volume than high intensity. There were still elements of intensity, and if probably a lot of people would probably look at some of my sets from that time and go, oh, that's a high intensity set. So they could say you could use that for high intensity, but I would always just do multiple sets of that. Although fast forward a couple of years, I think my ability to work within a set went up, and I wouldn't have been able to do that now. Does that make sense?
Of course.
And I think like to go even further forward to the present day, if I was to try and do that, I think there'd be too much crossover between hamstrings and quads. I feel like my hamstrings would be too fragile on a quad day, even though I'm training quads. Your hamstrings and your glutes and everything are involved quite a lot. And I think I would need a bit more time to go at either with any vigor, really.
It was basically, if I breaking this down right, chest, back, biceps, but it was mainly like pull downs and that type of thing on that day. Then you'd do the next day, you'd hit quads and calves.
Yeah.
Then you'd hit shoulders and triceps. And then on the final day, you'd hit back, but mostly rows with your hamstrings because you did deadlifts.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Was that a 4-day split? Was where did you fit the rest days on that? Was it just when you needed it?
So I train 4 to 5 times a week. So I wouldn't put them on any specific day because I worked shifts at a time. I would kind of just have to train whenever I could. And sometimes I'd end up training 5 days a week. Some days it was 4. Some weeks it was 4. So just wherever they fell, really.
Gotcha. And with this specific routine, was that something you were doing leading up to the Yorton Cup?
No, I think I was doing that after that. So that was probably kind of 2012, maybe 2011 onwards until about 2016.
Okay.
Then,
so more towards DFAC Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was the evolution.
2012, 14, 16, I competed in, and 18, and I competed in DFAC Worlds. And then prior to that, it was the Yorton Cup in 2010.
Okay. Now, was it similar or was it completely different leading up to the Yorton, your routine?
I remember prior to 2010 being the competitive year, 2009, 2008, I actually had off from competing. I wasn't competing. So when I first competed, I was 20, 21. And then I competed as a junior because the age category opened up to under 23. So I went from being a novice back to a junior at 22 years old. And then so 2008 and 9, I would have been 23 and 24. 25, it was 2010. So during those years, when I was 23 and 24 years old, we're just trying to grow. And I was doing a lot of strength-based stuff. So there would be elements of powerlifting training in there, periodized training, and just really trying to get bigger. But I was mainly focusing on just being stronger with a view of being bigger, and it worked.